Hey guys, Nate Gross here, tennis coach and creator of SpecTennis. I get it. You wish your high school tennis team could be more competitive in your region, but you're not given the adequate resources that you need. Well, I'm here to help. All I ask is for a few minutes of your time.
Do you find yourself coaching a large team on a very limited number of courts? Do you wish your players could improve more, but it's impossible for you to provide them with enough individual attention? Or maybe you'd like your players to be a more unified group, rather than the top 4 players segregating from the rest of the team because the level gap is too great. And what about efficiency? Wouldn't it be nice if there didn't have to be players waiting in long lines for their turn to hit the ball? These questions are tough ones, and maybe you don't see a viable solution. I'm here today to tell you that there is one, though. You can have all your players playing at once with no one waiting in line. You can have your lower tier players mixing in with your top level players and still have it be beneficial for all parties. You can have all of the players on your team improve without spending more time providing individual instruction. And you don't need additional tennis courts to make this happen. It boils down to a creative use of your space. Let me tell you about SpecTennis, a new innovative method to cross-train for tennis. With SpecTennis, every skill is easier to execute, creating higher success rates and building confidence faster. It's played using a smaller space, which allows 4 times more players to play at once. You can have 16 players playing on one tennis court with no one waiting. The smaller space also teaches control and how to construct points, as winners are hard to come by. The 18-inch paddle that is used, plus the orange dot low compression tennis ball, creates the perfect environment for learning new techniques and places more reliance on proper biomechanics on your swing rather than relying on the racket to generate power. Temporary courts can be set up on your tennis courts or even in unused spaces such as the parking lot in less than 10 minutes. Any tennis skill you'd like your team to have can now be learned independently without them having to take private lessons. And best of all, every player will be able to effectively practice outside of organized team practices because every skill that they are working on can successfully be executed with a player of similar level. By training with SpecTennis, I have absolute confidence that your team will attain a higher long-term level than if you had just stuck with tennis only. If you're old school and have been running the exact same cookie-cutter practices for the last 30 years, then this is not for you. But if you want to be a difference maker and truly develop better lifelong athletes and tennis players, then click below to schedule a free call with me to discuss how SpecTennis can be beneficial to your team. I promise you'll be glad you did.